This here is Vedank, and he is a multi-seven-figure online entrepreneur. In the next 90 days, I will be helping him unlock superhuman energy, focus, and productivity so he can scale his business to 8 figures. In today's video, I will show you the exact daily protocol I've structured for him to help him maximize his output at work so that he can outperform everyone in his field. Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's go. So I want to ask you a question, Vedank. What are we doing here exactly today?
A blood test, a very big one.
Yes, and another question, why, I know you did this program with me, we're doing this right now, right?
Yeah.
Why did you do this and what do you want to get out of this?
So right now I'm working 10 to 12 hours every single day. And I'm pretty sure that I can get more leverage and more done in less time. And basically I'm here to maximize my output and make sure that, I can just get more done while working less.
Exactly. And so when we want to do that, there are 2 main ways we can go about it. The first way, and the most common way I see with a lot of entrepreneurs, is that we can go online, we can scrape a lot of information of what other people are doing, different types of diets, the carnivore diet, all the different multivitamins and supplements, and maybe we can find a way to improve our performance for a while, but it's not going to be sustainable. So that's why we do way number 2. As you can see there, what we did today is we tested blood and we also tested gut health. So this is going to show us hormone levels, nutrient deficiencies, and also digestion. And this is going to allow us to customize a protocol that allows us to focus on the highest ROI things that our body actually needs to thrive and perform better. So instead of us actually going online and scraping a lot of information from different people, we focus on what our body needs. For example, we measure sleep quality. We monitor that very closely with him to make sure he's doing the appropriate things for his body so that he can actually perform at his maximum level and have peak energy, razor sharp focus, and maximum productivity. For example, for sleep quality, we monitor his sleep, show the sleep stats.
Yeah, come on, sure. So it's been 7 days almost into the program, yeah? So as you can see here, boom, 82, right? 88. My readiness is, going through the roof. Well, this was, I went out, but here, just check it out. Boom, 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 right? And I'll show you how it was before, see, right? Before it was scattered, right? I wasn't even tracking properly because it was stressing me out. So as you can see here, there is no readiness level, there is no sleep level, because I was every single morning I would wake up and I'd be like, wow, I'm tired today. So I just removed it, if that makes sense. While now, I'm just enjoying my numbers going up. So yeah, it's pretty insane what you can achieve in 7 days. How often do you do a blood test?
Usually after every 6 months. So I shoot for twice a year or minimum once a year.
Okay. And what are you looking for exactly, when you're getting this done?
So what metrics? Testosterone levels, hormone levels, HbA1c, heart health factors like cholesterol, LDL. That's mainly what I'm looking for. So complete blood count, kidney health, testosterone levels, and heart health.
So why is that important?
Because those are the main things that, for example, if I'm doing let's say something very trendy today is the carnivore diet. And the carnivore diet is a diet that is composed from eating a lot of red meat and a lot of saturated fats. A lot of people will think that this is the most optimal diet for testosterone levels, and people this is the best diet for a human to eat. But thing that we need to keep in mind is that eating that huge quantities of saturated fats all the time, while it can be good for your testosterone levels because you need cholesterol to synthesize testosterone, it can skew a lot of the heart health, like LDL cholesterol, it can go up. So this is why if you're eating a carnivore diet, a good tip is you don't only need to test your LDL cholesterol levels, you also need to test something that is called ApoB and lipoprotein A. Because if your LDL is going to be up, then you need to make sure that you're not in danger of developing cardiovascular disease. And a good factor to test, a good variable to test is lipoprotein A and ApoB. We're not testing that today, but if we see that our LDL levels are up, or if we have increased risk factors of heart health, we're definitely going to test that.
And I have a question for you. For let's say now you're going to get the results from a hormone level. Yeah. What's the main thing, the main metric we should focus on? If there is one metric, that will leverage all the others, that actually you find the most valuable across all, the successful entrepreneurs?
One metric, testosterone levels.
Testosterone, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, can you elaborate?
Yeah, so testosterone levels, you will get the results for testosterone levels, you will get a range, right? The range you will get is constructed upon what is average today.
Okay.
So in order for the companies to create the average ranges, like the lower end of the range and the higher end of the range, they take people from 18 years old up to 65, 70 years old, and they just measure their average levels. Like this metric here that they're gonna give us is probably inaccurate. We want to be at the higher ends of the spectrum, as close to 4 digits as possible. The reason you want to have high testosterone levels as an entrepreneur is because it makes effort feel good and rewarding. So you're more prone to taking challenges and risks. I don't mean jumping out of the bridge, but it also quiets down the anxiety and fear center of your brain, the amygdala. And by doing so, you have less stress, you have higher stress threshold. It just makes effort feel good and rewarding. And it also helps with mental clarity, cognition, and heart health because it reduces stress. So if we put one and one together, you want to be confident, you want to be able to lead your team, you want to be able to do the heavy lifting, you want high testosterone levels.
Okay. And last one. So you said like a good testosterone level is like 4 digits, right? So when should I be worried about my testosterone? Like under like across which number should I be like, stressed out about my T levels?
I mean, my testosterone levels are 1120, which is high.
Yeah.
But it's also like there are a lot of factors that come into play. It's not like, oh, under this number I should be worried, because we also have free testosterone. This is what truly matters. So if your free testosterone is not 2 to 3% of your total testosterone, then you should be worried. If you don't have the actual effects of high testosterone, like high libido, like you have the confidence, your effort feels good. If you don't have all of those effects, you should be worried, even if you have high testosterone levels. And then in terms of numbers, I would say if it's anywhere lower than 700 total testosterone nanograms per deciliter, you should do everything you can to improve it. I'm not saying it's bad, but if we want to optimize in terms of what we're doing right now, then absolutely want to increase it.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
Good. Alright, bro. So we just did the blood test, right? And we're going to the gym, right? It's like quite early. So why are we going to the gym that early in the morning?
Yeah. So what we're trying to do really here is we're trying to get you to like perform at your peak in terms of in the work, right? Peak performance productivity. So when you're asking me why are we going to the gym at that early, we just woke up, we did the blood test. There are 2 best times in the day to work out, really. So if you're asking me what are the best times to work out, well, if your goal is productivity, high energy, focus when working, then all of the neuroscientific literature studies show that it's super important to exercise right before the time that you have to use your brain for the most heavy lifting of the day. And also, if we take into consideration what we're trying to achieve, which is circadian clock, you need to do as many things in the morning right when waking up as fast as possible to increase cortisol levels. So this is like cold showers, sunlight, gym. The highest ROI being the gym, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Second best time to work out is if your goal is peak athletic performance. Like if you want to be get that competitive edge for your lifts, for your running, then you should work out at 12 to 2 p.m.
Okay.
Because this is the peak muscle oxygen saturation and coordination, and your functions, your body functions in terms of muscles are at the peak. So long story short, if we want to maximize output and mental performance, train in the morning first thing. If we want to maximize athletic performance, train in the evening or at like 12 to 2. Of course, we don't want the second one, we want the first one, so that's why we go to the gym in the morning.
Okay, makes sense. So right now we are going at the gym in the morning, right? I've heard that sometimes, when you push too hard, you're tired and you cannot work, so that's why a lot of people try to skip the mornings. What do you think about this, and how do you train effectively so it doesn't affect your day?
Yes, so that's a great question actually. So one of the main things we use to determine if your exercise, if your workouts are affecting your performance at work is your recovery, your sleep stats. One of the biggest tools we can use for this is your heart rate variability. So let me show you my heart rate variability. This is my HRV. This is the biggest metric to see if you're recovering properly in terms of stress. And one of the biggest stressors is exercise, but also mental stress. Now, if you're doing everything correctly, if you're sleeping enough, but you're waking up feeling tired, like if your recovery stats are optimal, but the one thing that is off is your HRV, you're doing everything correctly, you're not eating crappy foods, you're managing mental stress correctly, you have all the behaviors, but the only thing you don't have in place is your workouts are too heavy, then it's obvious that your workouts are too hard for you to be able to recover. Because what this thing will show you, the HRV, it will show you how well you're well to tolerate and recover from your workouts and from other stressors. Other stressors is like processed foods, like when you have a fight with your wife, when something happens, those tend to stress your body, and if your HRV drops, like for example this, let me show you this again, I don't know if you can see, but this is my baseline of HRV. When it drops, drops, something happened here.
Yeah.
And that particular day, I remember my HRV was super low at 39. I ate a late meal, which stressed my body excessively because it couldn't be able to focus on recovering at night. So it's a very nuanced question, but long story short, to be able to make sure you're not overtraining, you need to measure your recovery.
And I have another question, I had a personal trainer at the gym. He told me that if I want to work out in the morning, I should have like a heavy breakfast, right? To get energy, right? While here, we did a blood test, we are fasted, and we are still going at the gym. So what's happening here?
Yes, so when you want to optimize for athletic performance, it's good. Actually, studies have shown that it's good to have a meal that is 1-to-1 ratio with carbs and proteins near the gym. So this can be before the gym, this can be while you're training, and this can be after the gym. The carbs are more important here. So this is why I like eating some fruit and maybe some raw dairy or kefir after the gym, just so that I can put glycogen in the muscles. Because here's the thing, when you're training, you're depleting your glycogen stores. Like your muscles have carbs.
Yeah, okay.
So
they have like reserves.
Yeah, energy reserves.
Okay.
The thing that a lot of people say in the biohacking world is skip breakfast, and then eat breakfast at 2. But the thing you have to take into consideration is that when we're doing exercising in the morning first thing, and the biohacking people say that you should fast and skip breakfast to maintain clarity and focus, eating a meal after training is not really going to affect your focus because your energy storage is going to be depleted. And therefore, if you eat a meal that is medium in carbs, like some fruit, some honey, it's going to go directly to the glycogen stores to replenish the fuel. So it's not going to affect your focus, but it's also going to kickstart recovery. So if you want to kickstart recovery, then it's good to have a meal as close to the gym as possible. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so I have another question. I've heard some of the entrepreneurs saying that when you wake up, the first thing you have to do in the morning is work, right? And I've tried it. It's all about habits, I believe. To some extent, it can work. Right now, I'm feeling like more energized and productive while going in the gym in the morning, right? So my question to you is how do you define if it's better to just work right away or just go at the gym in the first place?
So here's the thing. As I said before, if we're trying to optimize for performance at work, then you need to increase your cortisol right when waking up. You don't have to do what we're doing. What we're doing is we're doing that workout that takes a bit longer. You don't have to do that. You can also get outside of your house and do 20-30 minutes of jump rope. It's going to increase your cortisol. It's going to achieve the goal.
Okay.
The reason is, let's say you're working 10 hours. Let's say your average performance, your output, your energy is 5 out of 10 average. So you're working 5 hours of meaningful work because of the other 5 hours you unproductive. Now, let's not change anything, but let's just change your input. Let's say with the stuff that you're doing right now, how would you say you're feeling in terms of productivity from 1 to 10? Before you were a 6.
Yeah, 6. Right now, it's been a week. I would say already 7 because I have time constraints. I have to go to the gym.
In terms of when you're working,
yeah,
your only work hours, how would you say they are in terms of focus and productivity?
Yeah, right now 7. 7.
So we just increased it by 1 point. So let's say the other example, you go from a 5 to an 8.
Yeah.
Average. And you're working 10 hours.
Yeah.
Now you went from working 5 hours, meaningful hours, to 8 hours. Because how you feel, think, and act is all everything has to do with your brain and the chemical signals it sends at all times.
Makes sense.
So if you wake up and the first thing you do is work, you're not going to achieve this cortisol spike, which is going to allow you to sync your circadian clock so that your body knows exactly what time of the day to produce the right chemical signals so that you're able to be at your peak when you have to be at your peak and actually recover when you need to recover. Because one of the problems most entrepreneurs have is they go to bed and you have racing thoughts, you can't fall asleep, you just toss and turn all the time. So that's the main thing.
Makes sense. All right.
So just arrived in the gym. And we're about to smash a leg workout. Ready?
Let's go!
Your arm should be either here or here. Slower down, slower and deeper down. So the way that we're structuring the workouts is mainly strength-based. We have a lot of movements like this. It's focused on strength and also a good amount of cardio. So 3 hours of zone 2 cardio and also VO2 max training. So today it's legs day. He particularly does 3 full body sessions a week. But today, since we're training together, we're gonna do legs. It's based on compound movements, machines, strength, and a lot of cardio. So obviously what we're doing is paying attention to two things when we're training, right? The first thing is that, as you will see him here, right here, he's going to train for an RPE 8, which means he is going to leave 2 reps in the tank. So he's not going to train all out for failure, because this is going to affect his recovery and his central nervous system, which means while he might feel good right now in the moment pushing himself, going all out, this will affect his performance at work. He will feel more sluggish, more unproductive, and more tired. And we can closely measure this with the HRV thing that I talked to you about before. So what we do is make sure we train 2 reps until 2 reps in reserve, so RP 8. And then what we also do, we do supersets. So most of our exercises are supersetted. So for example, what are we supersetting right now?
Calves and leg curl.
So we're supersetting the calf raises with this exercise to save time and to be more efficient so that we train in less time. Whew. So we're just done with training with weights. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and do some recovery box breathing to kickstart recovery. So let's do some recovery box breathing. Now, what recovery box breathing is, as you can see here from the phone, it's essentially a form of breathing that you use right after your exercise. When you finish your workout, you come here ideally and do this, and this is specifically to kickstart recovery. The way recovery usually works is that you have to meet your steep increase in heart rate, which happens when you're working out, with a steep decline in heart rate. So essentially trigger the parasympathetic nervous system. With this, after you train, it's going to allow you to kickstart recovery from straight after your workout, which is going to allow you to recover faster in between your sessions and have overall better recovery throughout the day and throughout the night. Wait, if you're an online entrepreneur and you're making over 6 figures, but you're dealing with low energy, brain fog, or you feel like you're not performing at your full potential, then if you give me 90 days, I'll turn you into a peak performance machine, or I'll pay you $10,000. And here's how we'll do that. We'll also structure a personalized biohacking protocol based on your health data in the same way we did with Vedank to help you maximize your energy, focus, and productivity so you can also grow your business. If you're interested in learning more, then I suggest you click the link in the description and we'll walk you through the details. Let's go back to the video. So we're back in the office to do some work. Before we do some work, we're gonna use some tools to enhance our productivity and focus. The most important tool here is coffee. Now, long story short, we focus very heavily on optimizing and leveraging coffee properly for productivity, which is we're not using coffee every day and we focus on the timing. So today, long story short, we're going to utilize coffee. And then we also have the supplements, a lot of supplements here. Now, this is my personal stack. As you see, all of this thing here is my personal stack that I take for testosterone, dopamine, longevity, heart health, all of those good things based on my goals, my diet, my blood markers, and everything. Vedank is not really on any form of supplements in terms of training so far, but I'm giving him the stack today just to try it out as my guinea pig.
Yeah, let's go. I hope I'll still be alive.
Yeah, so to give you a high-level overview of what those supplements are, we have things like acetyl L-carnitine, Tongat Ali, Catuaba bark, Vinatex, ubiquinol, quercetin. We have a ton of supplements for mitochondria, testosterone levels, heart health, and more productivity and creativity. So this is something that we're going to use as well. We also have other supplements. We have this, we have nicotine, and we also have this, which we're going to put in the coffee, which is L-theanine. Now, another thing that you might notice here with Vedank is that he is eating his first meal. Show your first meal. What is this?
Avocado with eggs, and I have some beef on the side as well that I'm going to eat later, and then you have some blueberries as well.
So as you see, we just went through a lot of training, which means that we depleted the carbs, the fuel in our muscles, which is called glycogen. And so right now, if we want to optimize for recovery, like kickstarted recovery right after the exercise, he is going to benefit from this meal because it has a decent amount of carbs, it has a decent amount of fats and proteins, and it's definitely not going to affect his focus because we're not going to have a increase in blood sugar levels simply because he just trained a lot. He depleted the glycogen stores. So any of the carbs, any of the glucose he's going to utilize from this food is going to go straight to the muscles for fuel, which is also going to help with the supplement absorption. If we take those supplements on an empty stomach, they're probably going to mess us up. So it's going to help with better absorption of the supplements. Now, the other thing that I'm going to talk about here is we're ready to start work. So how exactly do we go about starting work? So let me show you here on the screen. We leverage this tool here, which is Rise. And so what we do is we've heavily focused on optimizing for deep work, which is when we go to the timer, you will see here that if we click start focus, we can change this to 90 minutes. And this is like the most optimal deep work session is 90 minutes. And this is how the first work block is gonna go. Use this to make sure to analyze where your time is going, but also be mindful of the time we have remaining. And this is mainly because of something called the ultradian rhythms. The ultradian rhythms, like you have the circadian rhythm, which is 24 hours. Inside the circadian rhythm, there is something called the ultradian rhythm, which is pretty much happening every 90 minutes, all day, every day. So in terms of peak performance and productivity, your brain will go through 90-minute cycles where it takes you around 10 to 15 minutes to reach peak focus and productivity. And after 90 minutes or so, it's different, but it's around 90 minutes for most people, you will get out of that peak productivity phase. So after that, you tend to decompress. So what we naturally do is 90-minute work blocks with tracking your time in Rise. And then after that, a 5 to 10-minute break to decompress. And then we leverage the swing of the circadian rhythm, the ultradian rhythm as well. And we keep doing that for the first 8 hours of the day with deep work. So now I'm about to eat my meal as well, take caffeine, take the supplements, and let's do some deep work.
Hey guys, so I have an agency in the French market. In the info space, we have more than 250 clients, a team of 45 team members, and today is a busy day. I need to get a lot of things done, right? So the first thing I will do is I will work on a new offer. You know, we are going to tackle the market starting from September. This will be the first thing. I'll have like a 1.5 hour block for this. Then, you know, I just have like a small walk just to make sure that, you know, I keep my body active. Then I have to review the sales calls of my team because we have a new sales team, and I just want to make sure that, you know, they are not over promising. Very important. So it's gonna take me like also like 1.5 hours. And then the last thing I will do today is I will just get on a hiring call because we are hiring operations manager. He went through like 4 interviews and now I have to show my face just to make sure the guy, yeah, fits the role. So most of the time I get distracted because, you know, I have a big team, so I get pulled into Slack, WhatsApp, and all of that things. So what happens is that, you know, I just start working on something, then I'm like, oh, I need the file, let me connect on Slack and ask my colleague, then I see like 40 notifications, and then, you know, I get pulled and trapped into it. So that's why Rise is important first of all. And also I want to make sure I can, you know, just maximize my output. So that's why I think these supplements will help. So I'm gonna start with the coffee. What's in the coffee?
So in the coffee, we have some L-theanine. This is not the box of L-theanine, but I just replaced it with the other one, and taurine. So essentially we have those two things because they will help with removing the jitters, and they activate something in your brain called the GABA system, which the GABA system essentially makes you more calm and resilient. So instead of drinking this and becoming super jittery and anxious and overwhelmed, you have a more calm and resilient and focused energy high from the coffee.
All right, so I'm gonna, you know, take a sip and then have my supplements here, you know, while working. I have some water here, coconut water, you know, to stay hydrated. I have my San Pellegrino, right? So I think I'm gonna start with this, you know, boom, for the supplements, and then let's go. Let's rock and roll.
So we just finished, as you can see here, 2 90-minute work block sessions. And I was showing Vedank this KPI roadmap that I give to all my clients. As you can see here, this is what we're going to achieve inside those 3 months in terms of sleep quality, training, diet, and productivity. So as you see, if everything goes according to plan, if he actually follows everything, this is our KPI roadmap. So this is how sleep is going to look like. This is how training is going to look like. Diet in terms of body composition, physique. So right now we're somewhere less than this. We want to, of course, get here. Okay, so 58 kg shredded.
So the main reason why I'm doing this is because, sometimes I just get into a focus mode and I find myself going on Slack or, like just on WhatsApp to check in on my team and just make sure that they have everything they need. And that's where I basically get distracted, like let's say I'm working on something, sometimes I just forgot a doc I need, I will just connect on Slack or on WhatsApp to ask it to one of my employees. He will say it over and I will see like 45 plus notifications, right? And then I'll just be stuck, answering to everyone, and that's how my focus gets scattered, right? So that's why I decided to jump in, and I was just sitting with Manu to, kind of like share how my session was, and he shared me something very valuable about no-goes. Maybe you can share, bro?
Yeah, so one of the main things that will allow you to control your monkey brain so that when you're actually going ahead to do something, focus on a specific task, which is super important, is to be able to control and train your willpower muscle. What is this exactly? So it's something that we implement as well. It's called the no-go moments, and it is the ability to deliberately refrain from doing something you would otherwise impulsively do. Like, let's say, for example, I'm right now trying to write an SOP or to write a script to focus on that one specific thing. And let's say, while I'm doing the work, I have the urge to, like, something random, to scratch my calf or scratch my leg. When I deliberately say no and I press the brake to refrain from doing this thing that I would naturally do, it trains the part of the brain which is responsible for your willpower. And by doing so, every time that you do something like this, it may be for this specific thing that Vedank explained, is you have the urge to check for fires in your Slack and your WhatsApp and your client messages. When you deliberately say no, I'm not going to do this right now, I'm going to keep focusing, it's like you're doing one repetition for your bicep curls, right? And every time you do one of those reps, the willpower muscle strengthens and gets larger. And this is something that you may notice in the elite performers like athletes. They can naturally say no to things like smoking, partying, or staying up late, or eating junk food, and they can normally say no to those things because their willpower muscle is naturally trained to be super strong. And so when you first start doing this, it will be draining and it will be hard, but the more reps you do throughout the day with any random thing you can pick, not scratching your nose, not biting your nails, not checking Slack while you're doing deep work, all of those are no-goes. So when you deploy those no-goes in the day, you strengthen that willpower muscle, and as a result of that, you have a greater willpower muscle, and you can be more deliberate, you can be more mindful of where you actually are putting your work so you can get the most out of your work. So let's go eat some food. Okay, so show us what we're eating.
What we have here is, first of all, we have some rice, white rice. Yeah. So here we have some meatballs, right? Beef meatballs. Smells super good. Here we have some chicken. Yeah, with peppers and mashed potatoes. Looks amazing. And this is yours. What do you have?
So here we have some chicken with some quinoa and rice and cheese, I think. Here we have some potatoes, chicken, and some broccoli and carrots. And here we have some yogurt with tzatziki sauce. Now, a couple of important notes we have to take into consideration here. This is not the most optimal meal in the world, but here today we weren't really prepared with our meals, which is not ideal. And so we had to order something that is considered to be relatively healthy. As you see here, this food is in plastic again. be careful if you are going to get meal prep. If your food is in plastic, just use glass. This is a bit better. This is like cardboard, a bit better than plastic. So if you also get this, definitely do not heat it up. So I want you to show us what is your meal plan looking like. Like show us your meal plan in your phone.
Super simple, 2 days, So breakfast, I'll have avocado, eggs, and blueberries. Amazing. I have a shake at lunch, and at evening I will have like some sirloin steak with white potatoes and fruits, right? So this is the day one.
You ate this, you're supposed to be eating like 500, and then you're like roughly 1,700 calories.
Exactly.
For the second meal. What we've done is we taken the consideration the calories in that meal, and we ordered something which is similar in calories and protein to get our second meal in. And we're combining 2 meals in one, so this is essentially going to be our dinner. Early dinner, it's like 6. I'm going to explain why in a moment, but yeah, now let's enjoy the food. So we just wrapped up our day in work here with Vedank. We got some stuff done, and now it's time to decompress. But I want to ask you something. What are your thoughts so far? I know we're like 1 week in, but what are your thoughts? How are you feeling so far? What has your experience been so far in doing this? Just share your thoughts.
Yeah, so I feel that, it's simple to follow because there's a lot of things, right, that you can hear on the internet, a lot of diets, a lot of supplements that you can take. But here we essentially go back to the basics, which is very important, and it's very effective, just to build the habits. So yeah, very, very solid. I already have some really good results, as I showed, right? I have like an insane sleep score, which is very nice. I can also feel that, I'm more productive, like I'm way more focused and sharp. I used to sit just here on this chair like for 12 hours a day and barely get like 3 things done, like hardly get 3 things done. But I was able to get at least 1 thing done a day, and like today I've been working like literally for now 5 hours, and I've already done 2 big things, right? So I mean, it's all about the output. Let's see how it goes, but super excited. I already got like some insane results.
Yeah, for sure. And also, can you show here in the camera like what is your, because obviously what we do is we structure how each client's ideal day should look like in terms of structure, in terms of timing, meals, and everything. So everything we kind of walk you through today was how the day should ideally look like in terms of based on the protocol, based on what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. So here's my protocol, right? So I wake up at 7:30. The first thing I do in the morning is that I, hydrate myself. I go to the bathroom. Then I go to the gym, right? So for the gym, I have like a very specific program. It's very effective because I'm always worried about spending too much time in the gym. And here, like literally like in 1 hour, I can get it done. Let me show you. So there's this wonderful app, Pure Focus, right? There you go. So here's my gym program. As you can see, super detailed. I don't have like a lot of exercise, right? It's pretty solid, but you can fit it, right? And the most interesting thing is that you can track your reps very easily. Like everything is done for you. It's amazing, right? Very nice setup. So back to the program. Find my protocol. Yeah. So back to the program. What I do after the gym is that I do some recovery box breathing. Very interesting, very relaxing as well. Right? And then I just, jump in the cab, come at the office, and it's time to analyze my to-do. I actually start like working at like 10, with some pause in between till 1:30. Yeah, everything is super structured. And it's amazing. Very good.
Awesome. Now, if you're an online entrepreneur and you're making over 6 figures with your business, we can help you eliminate low energy, brain fog, and help you achieve peak performance in 90 days, or we'll pay you $10,000. If you want to learn more details about how this works, and if you're interested in optimizing your performance, then click the link below this video, book a call, and if we're a good fit, we'll walk you through how this protocol works. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.